Okay, good afternoon, Swastika.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, Swastika, I have been reading your profile. So, you have been to diverse places and you have been playing diverse roles also. So, the first I would like to know about your educational experiences.
Okay. Sir, I did my primary and secondary schooling from Mussoorie in Dehradun, and I hold a bachelor's degree in arts with economics and mathematics as my disciplines from the Jesus and Mary College of the University of Delhi. And this has been my experience so far. I'm looking for a master's degree in management and during my master's, I'll be focusing more on public policy management, decision sciences, and human resources and organizational behavior.
Okay. So, Swastika, I will keep this interview like continuous feedback and rather than having the entire interview at one go. So, somehow your voice is not clear, or either you are speaking too fast. So if your internet is slow, try to speak slow. Okay.
Okay.
So it will help the interviewer to listen or to comprehend all the thing that you are telling. So for the same question, I was asking your education experiences, like what did you do in your school, what did you do in your college, and what
Okay.
other things related to education only you did in college or school. You need to tell that those things also.
Okay, sir.
Not speak.
Okay. So, sir, I did my primary and secondary schooling from Dehradun and Mussoorie. I did my high school from 𝐻𝐚𝐭 Waverly, it's an all girls residential school. And I did my senior secondary from 𝐻𝐚 Dehradun. I had physics, chemistry, mathematics, and economics as my disciplines in +2. And I hold a bachelor's degree in arts with economics and mathematics as my primary disciplines from the University of Delhi. Throughout my education, I was actively involved in dramatics, and I was also a member of the dramatic society of my college. And since I'm very fond of writing, I was the editor of the magazine of the 𝐻𝐚 Waverly, and for my academic excellence, I was awarded scholarship in +2, the 𝐷𝐸 Scholarship of ISC 1991.
Okay. So in your economics graduation, what were the subjects did you like most?
Sir, I enjoyed microeconomics the most, microeconomics and development economics.
So microeconomics leads to or microeconomics deals with what?
So microeconomics deals with the behavior of individual economic units in an economy. Individual economic units, individuals and firms in an economy.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the significance of Cobb-Douglas function?
Sir, Cobb-Douglas function is a production function which weighs in technology while calculating inputs and outputs.
How do we use that?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
So the other interested part of your studies was developmental economics or development economics.
Development
Okay.
economics.
Development studies actually. So what did you study there?
Sir, in development economics, we studied the growth of Indian economy post-independence and the reforms that took place in 1990s in agriculture and technology and manufacturing sector of the economy.
Okay. So if I'll ask you, can you give me anything that you know about Indian manufacturing sector, or can you give some light that what kind of manufacturing units that we have and how much contribution from manufacturing sector that we get in our GDP, and what is the road ahead? So can you brief anything related to this?
Also,
We are not very regular to this. So you did your graduation in 2019. Okay.
yes, sir, 2019.
So what were you doing after that?
So after that, I was preparing for a master's again in management. I did get through a few colleges post my bachelor's. I got through Banaras Hindu University, but a few months into the program, I realized that I'm not an ideal fit for the program. At the same time, I had this growing inclination towards the development sector, and I wanted to work at the grassroots. I was offered the SBI Youth for India Fellowship in 2020, and I went for that. I recently completed my fellowship with SBI last year in the month of September. And now I'm working with the Center for Social and Economic Progress in their growth, finance, and development vertical as an intern.
Okay. So this line actually picked my attention that you are not fit for the program at BHU MBA. So what made you think that, and how do you think that our MBA will be a best fit for you?
So I think I was not an ideal fit for the program at that time because I did not know what kind of courses I would be taking and how I would be deploying the courses I'm studying in future during my job profile. So I had this constant disconnect with the kind of teaching with the teaching, and at the same time we had shifted online. So that was very new for me, and I was already struggling with the subjects. On top of that, everything was online. Because of that, I felt that there's a gap which I need to fill before going for my master's. And now that I have substantial experience, I know what I'm going to do during my master's. I know the kind of internships I wish to take, the kind of electives I wish to take, and what I want to do at this point, what I hope to do post my master's. So I do have a fair understanding. I do have a framework of the entire for the next 2 years.
Okay. So your experience was with SBI Youth Fellowship. Can you explain a bit what did you do there? And
For my fellowship, I was placed with the 𝐼𝐴 Rural Support Program in Gujarat. I worked in the Saurashtrian region of Gujarat, which is a drought-prone area. And my fellowship project primarily focused on financial literacy of women. My Project 3, which is an acronym for striving towards rural economic empowerment, it had two aspects. One was financial empowerment of women through financial literacy and revival of inactive self-help groups in the area. And the second was menstrual health and management practices. Now, the village which I was assigned, it had 11 SHGs, all formed under the Mission Mangalam scheme of the government, of the state government of Gujarat. And all these SHGs were inactive. So in the beginning, I tried to understand what was the reason behind the inactivity of these SHGs, because there was another village 10 kilometers away from the village where I was working, Ovankar, where SHGs were striving. So I wanted to understand what is happening, that there are only a few villages in which these SHGs are functioning properly. And in most of the villages, SHGs are not able to, they are either inactive or women have lost interest and opted out of these SHGs. So that was one aspect. And during my communication, during my interaction with the community members, I realized that the village in which I was working, it was the last village in the Saila Taluka. And because of that, there was no way to commute to the village and to the bank. That was one reason. Plus, since it was a drought-prone area, the summers were extremely harsh and women could not
okay,
travel.
okay. I got your point. You did your internship or the fellowship very enthusiastically, and I think you have similar goals ahead. But don't you think that this MBA program is like will deviate you from the real goal of working for society and working for development sector? Because we are hardcore management based program, we are provide management based programs. So do you think that this is a slight deviation or deviation towards your main career goal?
Sir, it may not be the ideal approach people in the social development sector take for meeting their goals. But I think at present, the sector is demanding more managers because there is growing inefficiency and we are also focusing more on numbers. Uh, that's why we need more managers in the sector. Also, at various points during my fellowship, I found myself interacting with different leaders, the CEO of the 𝐼𝐴 Rural Support Program, Mr. Apoorva Ucha, who is a pass out of IIMA. And then at present, the fellow senior fellows I'm working with, they are both IIMans. So there was drastic difference between the kind of solutions they provided me and the kind of solutions people on field provided me with. So these people, these leaders had a very solution oriented approach, and the field workers had a very they were constantly identifying the kind of problems my solutions would have. There was a difference in approach. Moreover, I feel management provides you with a very 180-degree perspective of things. you get to understand, you start weighing in different factors that might affect your projects and the execution of the project, the implementation of the project, the design of the project. That is one thing that happens with management courses.
So fair enough. It's good. So you want to apply this management education to development sector. So
Yes,
that's
I
a
mean,
good thing. So you were talking about that even in social sector, development sector, the need of data, need of numbers has increased.
yes, sir.
Can you give me some examples how
So I
actually
would
it?
give you an example of JPAL, okay, which is Jamal Latif Poverty Action Lab, which is a very data-driven civil society organization. It's been constantly looking for researchers for its new emission trading schemes, which studies the impact of pollution on marginalized communities of the country. So all the policies, they are actually they need to be very evidence-based. Otherwise, they won't give you good results, and that is where data comes in. So data collection of data, its analysis, it gives rise to conclusions which help us make good policies for the people at the grassroots. That's why data is very
Okay.
important.
So the last question for you, Swastika, is let's say you are coming here for an MBA program and all the companies which are visiting for placement are more of they are in product or service selling. Okay. They are the complete corporate structure. So if you're not getting chance to get a job in development sector after this MBA, and you'll be getting a good opportunity to get placed in corporate. So what will you do? You'll go for corporate, or is there any agenda that you have?
No, sir, I am very goal centric at this point. I wish to work in the social development sector, and if I don't get placed during on campus placements, I would be opting for placements off campus. And if I have to work with the corporates at the end of the day, then I would be looking for I would be looking for opportunities in their CSR initiatives. That again is the coming together of NGOs
Okay.
and corporates.
So good. ये बहुत अच्छा था सोचेगा मतलब the entire interview was very synced है ना कहीं पे भी flawed नहीं था. I was trying to make it continuous review but कभी जरूरत नहीं पड़ी except for the last जो question था उसमें तुम ऐसा confidently बोल सकती हो है ना चश्मा पहन के देना चाहिए था और ज्यादा अच्छा लग रहा है. तो अगर ग्लासेस पहनती तो पहन के रखा करो. तो
Thank you,
उसमें क्या
sir.
है हाँ लास्ट में जो था ना तुम थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंटली बोलती ना कि सिंस मतलब द पास्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वेयर यू हैव वर्कड एंड all the networks that you have created, so you don't have any dearth of employment opportunity है
हाँ
ना.
सर, मैं ये भी बोल सकती हूँ कि at
हाँ
different points
हाँ
organizations have offered me
हाँ
roles.
so at this time I can get other roles or other profiles also, and after MBA with more capability I can get greater roles and in many organization. So I do have that connections network. तो ये क्या होगा कि this will make them think कि you can also bring company for summer placements or placements also. So एक enrichment दिखेगा ना उनको, तो वो बोल दोगे ना connections का brag करो थोड़ा सा है ना. That will be fine. ठीक है. तो ये तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, ऐसे ही बोलना सिंक होके. इकोनॉमिक्स को भी तुमने अच्छे से डिफेंड किया.